Red Krasnaya in Russian means beautiful. That's how the name was originated. Beautiful here. And that's behind you St. Basil Cathedral, constructed in 1561 by the order of Ivan the Terrible to commemorate the capture of the city of Kazan. This is GUM. That is the initial GUM, the State Department store, but now has been turned into like typical European mall. Really here, one of the most expensive in the city. And from here you can see the red building. That is historical museum, constructed in the 19th century, and one of the largest museums. The building is interesting from architectural point of view. And would you like to go further?
Yes.
And since the 14th century, it got the name the fortress, which means Kremlin. Kremlin means fortress. But in the 15th century, when Moscow was proclaimed as a capital of the Russian centralized state, the father of Ivan the Terrible ordered to replace the white stone Kremlin by the brick ones. So the present-day Kremlin dates back to the 15th century. Within the walls, you can see a lot of towers there. 5 of them are embellished with stars. And they replaced the double-headed eagle by the order of Stalin, by the stars, the symbol of Soviet time. The weight of each star is from 1 ton up to 1.5 tons. Yes, they are lit day and night, and in daytime more intensely than physical point of view, because the square had witnessed practically all the historical events which took place in the Kremlin since the time of the foundation. As there are 3 main cathedrals here. The Annunciation Cathedral, which is under the renovation now. This is a small church which was constructed specially for the royal family. Only the Tsars with their families could pray there. And in the center you see the main cathedral of the whole country, the Assumption Cathedral, which we are going to see aside, and all the historic
Арбат мой, Арбат, ты моя.
Слушайте его, вы все поймете, что он говорит. Это было же хорошо, я чувствую, что я вам перейду. На самом деле, вы спрашиваете, есть ли вообще возможность проверять?
Да, я считаю, что надо делать не так, как нам говорил Джеральд Даррелл в своих книгах. Он говорил, что надо работать с властью.
Gerald Darrell, who is the naturalist, basically, he's
действуем так.
British naturalist, who is well known here because it has been translated into Russian.
Мы действуем так.
And his ideology is to involve not basically local people, to promote the activity of
Мы действуем так, как он
ecologists.
писал в своих книгах. Не давайте покоя своим депутатам, не успокойтесь. Совершенно законно.
And this is quite legally done.
И мы звоним в экологическую милицию,
So we are calling to ecological police.
и нам объясняют,
And
что
they
они
explain
ничего
to
не
us
могут сделать. Но
that
очень нам
this is-
сочувствуют.
that they have some sort of, how to say, opposition to this action, but they cannot do anything.
И мы поняли, что мы можем взывать только к чувствам, к совести.
So we can actually address only emotions and maybe integration of people.
Очень сложно всегда давать комментарии, когда
Да он в Одинцовскую
ты сама постоянно из года в год повторяешь одно и то же.
Ross. He's right.
There are so many cities in the world we have to visit, but St. Petersburg is taking one of the first places among these beautiful cities. And I'm happy to see your smiley faces and just for you to imagine how lucky you are. In St. Petersburg we have only 40 sunny days per year. Only 40 sunny days. The sun is shining only for very good people in this city. How long are you going to stay? 2,000 years history. Our city of St. Petersburg is like a baby, very, very young city. Only 300 years ago, our city originated as a seaport in the course of the Northern War. It was a unique occasion in the world history. Our city was founded in the course of the Northern War. At that time, this territory was occupied by Sweden here, but it's ancient Russian territory, which long time ago belonged to Novgorod Principality. And it was very important area because we are very close to the Gulf of Finland of the Baltic Sea. It was an outlet, the only outlet for Russia at that time to the big sea. That's why our founder, Russian Tsar Peter the Great, decided to found this city in this particular place.
Господа! Сигарету распылите, ребята, поджечь. Какой коты? Давайте не прямо ко мне сюда, лицом туда. Гости рядом с невестой, вставайте. Ракеты какой-то.
You saw what
Some people
you saw.
talk about it, some people walk with it, you know? It's like, what
And
do
you
you
saw
want?
what he offered you first. You know, like my member of the guild. You don't want me to get terrible on your ass, Josh.
our city, St. Peter and Paul Cathedral, we know this style as Russian Petrine bust of Peter the Great. This tomb of Peter the Great, the founder of our city, the Tsar who happened to rule our country till 1725, and with in his order our city was founded. Sometimes tourists ask me, where is the coffin? Where are the bodies? Not inside of this. It's just a decoration. According to Russian tradition, they are very dangerous. And she happened to rule our country for 2 years, from 1725 till 1727. Not so long period of time, but still, it was a very unique occasion. Woman of such origin. And Peter the Great met her in 1703, and he said, "Oh, she will be mine." Actually, she was a prisoner of the war. She came as a trophy yacht. This man was killed by actually, he was killed by his wife Catherine the Great. Over there we can see the tomb of Catherine the Great, or Catherine II. She was a fiancée of Peter III. Peter III was the nephew of Elizabeth. Actually, it happened that Elizabeth she found herself a fiancée for her nephew, and with her invitation, this woman, Sophia Dorothea Augusta Louisa, who was only 14 years old, she came here to Russia, and she said, "I would like to rule this country," and her wish came true with the killing of her husband, with the help of Grigory Orlov, one of her boyfriends. It was another conspiracy, another emperor, and his family, I mean Nicholas II, who happened to rule our country till the October Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. Let us come closer, please. Maybe you already know this story. They were actually sent to Tobolsk, then to Catherineburg, and all this family was killed by communists, including children, including Serbs, medical doctor, Serbs and children, everybody were killed. And for a long time we didn't know where they are. And just 10 years ago, their relics were reburied here. From Catherineburg, they brought to St. Petersburg, and the model of the cathedral, which is 166 times smaller than the cathedral itself. This model of the cathedral was made by Master Salin, who participated here in the construction process. And over here we can see typical classical structure with a bit elongated dome, columns and porticos, and this fence, which is, by the way, is not existing, this fence. But the cathedral itself, exact copy of the cathedral, only 166 times smaller than the cathedral. All in all, we have 62 mosaics here in St. Isaac Cathedral. Now it's a modern system. We have heating system, ventilation system, and it's not necessary to maintain the saints which bear the same names as emperors and empresses during whose reign the construction works was going on. For example, St. Catherine, St. Nicholas, St. Alexander, and with this golden background, we know this technique as a cantoral technique. We can see the image of St. Isaac holding the design of the cathedral, and St. Nicholas, the miracle worker, is considered to be the best icon.
Where they're from, and then we'll explain for a minute what the Organizers Forum is, and you'll explain about the Institute. We'll ask questions.
there are two reasons for coming of all those major automobile companies into Russia. There are just two reasons. One reason is the huge market, a lot of customers, potential customers, and the first reason, even more important, the low cost of personnel, of staff, and of resources.
Скажем так, униформу. Все пошли работать на фронт.
When they come to small towns, for example, the small town around St. Petersburg, Vsevolozhsk, where there is complete unemployment, no money, nothing, and they come to Vsevolozhsk, they build their factory, and they say, okay, we're giving you now the salary, which would be $50 over what you had before, and you will have your nice smart uniform, and you will have your bus, which will take you from your home to the factory, and this is complete happiness.
Я вас за эти деньги просто удавлю всех.
The problem is that when Russian managers start to get the salary of the Western managers, like their colleagues in America, they would try thinking about all the others like their slaves. They would just stress them down to earth, and you won't have any possibility to look up, to speak up, or whatever. But all those declarations of Ford Company, they're written in a neat, nice language, and they're neatly translated into Russian, but they don't work because the managers, they want to squeeze everything out of their workers. They don't think about it anymore.
Организация создана на таком глобальном предприятии, как Sodexo, а не кейтеринговая компания, то есть обеспечивает.
We self-organized first the workers at our factory. We then helped people at some other different organizations to self-organize, and I heard that there are many people here from organization community of service, and also we made trade union in the Sodex. In the Sodex, which takes care about catering. And we had one strike which was one day, like 24 hours. We had one pre-strike, not real strike, but just pre-strike. And then we had two so-called Italian strikes.
Is that Olga?
Olga, where is the scarf?